Hi there. We are going to be reviewing for the Cambridge exams, and I have some easy and helpful tips for you. Some of the types of questions that you will see and the points that they are worth. The first one would be a describe question, which is worth 5 points. It might not be on there, but it is worth 5 points. The second one is an explain question. That is worth 7 points. The third one is going to be an analyze or an evaluate question, which is worth 8 points. Some great tips. Here are some tips to help you answer these questions. The first tip I have is make sure to answer the actual question and stay on topic. It is very easy and very common to start saying things and then go off topic. So you want to make sure that you are on topic throughout your entire answer. The second one is manage your time. Don't spend too long answering one question. When you get to writing, you may tend to take too long. Watch the clock and manage your time wisely. So if you think you have written a lot, just stop and look back and then see how long you have left and decide whether or not you have time to write more or if you have to wrap it up. The third tip I have is include facts in your answer. Your answer is not a story. Don't make things up and don't try to make it about you. This is facts and it's hard answers, and if you include facts, then you get more points on your exam. The fourth one I have is all of the marks, which is what they're technically called, are positive. You won't be deducted points, but you can get more if you include the relevant information. So that goes back to staying on topic as well, and including facts, because including facts gives you more marks. Now let's get back to these questions. The first questions are going to be describe. A decent describe question will give you 3 to 5 points, and you should include the following: a reasonable and an accurate answer. So make sure your answer makes sense, and make sure that you have the right information included. Describe the events clearly. Don't assume that the reader is going to automatically know what you're talking about, because I guarantee they might, but they might not. So when you're writing, act as if your reader doesn't know any of this and you're teaching them, and write to where it makes sense. Don't assume that your reader knows what you're trying to say. And add supporting details, because you get extra points or marks if you add more supporting details and information. For time and length, you can spend about 5 to 10 minutes on the describe questions. I wouldn't do any longer than that because you don't really need any longer than that. Now, there shouldn't be a specific length for your describe question, but it could be around one paragraph. You may include more, but what I've learned is just to write enough to get your point across. The next ones are explain questions. And in order to get 6 to 7 points for the explain questions, fully explain why. So you're going to have a question, and on the explain, you're going to have to explain something that is relevant to the question that you're given. So when you're explaining, fully explain it and explain why it happened or why it is the way it is. To finish the test with extra time so you can look over your answers and make sure that you included everything you wanted to, maybe review, revise some things. You can spend about 10 minutes, maybe a little more, 10 to 12 minutes, writing one side of a regular lined paper. Now on the test, they might give you an answer document, or they might have you use blue or green books. Now, some of the answers documents that you're going to write your answers on may not be a regular lined paper. So you have to just measure it out a little bit and write about one side of a regular lined paper, not one side of a small paper. But that's how long it should be. Then again, it could be longer, but you do need to get your point across. Oh, and it may seem like a lot of work, but when you have studied and practiced writing the questions, you'll be able to do it. Guaranteed. The third questions are going to be analyze or the evaluate questions. To get 7 to 8 points on your analyze/evaluate question, aim to clearly address the key words in the question and make a valid judgment about the statement. So this is telling you to analyze the statements. So basically, what you want to do is you want to address the key points that you can explain that are in the statement. And when you evaluate, make a judgment about the statement. You can spend about 15 to 20 minutes writing about 2 sides of regular lined paper. Again, the paper might be smaller, so you want to just measure it out and write about 2 sides of a regular lined paper, which would be about 1 page front and back. There are ways to help you prepare for your Cambridge exam. There are guaranteed ways that will help you to prepare for the exam. Some would be presentations. They could be presentations from your teacher, or presentations from YouTube, or presentations from a Cambridge website. Any kind of presentation can help you. Your notes. notes that you've taken during class will help you a great deal. Textbooks. If you read through textbooks and take notes out of there as well, textbooks are a really great help. Videos on GCSE history. The website you can find maybe on your teacher's blog, but the videos on GCSE history you can also find on YouTube. Type in GCSE history, and there's many videos that you can pull up. There are more ways you can ask your teacher for extra resources. Now the objectives. The objectives on paper 1, because that is what these questions will be on. They'll be on paper 1, the first part of your Cambridge exam. The ability to recall, select, organize, and deploy knowledge of the syllabus content appropriately. So that basically translates to your ability to remember, organize, and spit it back out, basically, appropriately, and your ability to understand it, which that is the next one. An understanding of the past through explanation, analysis, and substantiated judgments of change and continuity, cause and consequences, similarity and difference, historical significance, the motives, emotions, intentions, and beliefs of people in the past. So what the objective here is saying is that it wants your ability to understand history based on explaining it, analyzing it, and judging it. Now you have the general idea of the format of the questions. My advice to you is to practice writing in a time setting and review your syllabus of the Cambridge exam. I do wish the best of luck to you. I believe that you can do this, and it really is pretty easy if you practice and you study very hard. You will do great. And that is my exam tips for you for the Cambridge exam. I hope you do well, and good luck.